Hello and welcome back to this Sunday morning David's 67 YouTube Celtic news video. This morning's video going to be a post-match review of Celtic's exciting 7-goal thriller win over St Mirren yesterday evening. Game was live on Sky Sports, and after our big rivals' rather humiliating 2-1 loss earlier in the afternoon, it does put us 16 points clear and potentially a couple of games away from clinching the title, with our next league match being against our big rivals at Celtic Park in a couple of weeks' time, with in between the vital Scottish Cup quarter-final against Hibs, which will be happily also at Celtic Park. In today's video, we're going to have a wee look at the key incidents, a couple of wee talking points in terms of potential VAR controversies, a look at the stats, and also my own personal ratings for the players. Yesterday evening's match was an exciting game right up until almost the last few minutes when Celtic's dominance fully took over. And to give St Mirren tons of credit, they played very, very well, pressurised Celtic for the massive majority of the game, kept themselves in the game until very, very late on. But for a brilliant performance by Kasper Schmeichel and one or two 50-50 refereeing decisions on another day, on another evening, Celtic could well have drawn or even lost yesterday's game. However, happily, Celtic did win in the end 5-2, and the power of Celtic's bench yet again proving to be the deciding factor in many ways. Bit of a scrappy start, and St Mirren pressurised Celtic in all three zones of the pitch, and Celtic really couldn't quite get in a good hold on the game. A key incident was Austin Trusty having to unfortunately go off with a head injury and head wound around about the 26th minute, and from then onwards Celtic looked a lot more shaky and unsettled in defence. And I thought, for one thing, Liam Scales had a very poor performance, and that he and Carter Vickers don't form a very good partnership, and it does tend to drag down Carter Vickers' performance when he's partnered with Liam Scales. However, it does look like Austin Trusty just needed 5 stitches, and so by next weekend's game against Hibs, he should be fully recovered, stitches out, and back taking his place in central defence. And I think he could be, along with Carter Vickers, very, very important in controlling Hibs' usual twin striker setup next weekend. Just after that, Celtic nice sweeping move involving Kuhn, Alsa Johnson, Adam Ida back to Nicholas Kuhn, and then sweeping the ball out to Jeffrey Sloop, who can control things nicely on the edge of the box, and a good powerful shot right across the goalkeeper, bouncing in off the post, and Celtic 1-0 up, slightly against the run of play, but I think Celtic had the bulk of the possession throughout that first half hour, and I think going 1-0 up was perfectly fair, given the fact that Kasper Schmeichel by that time had made a couple of very good saves. Liam Scales gave away a rather stupid free kick on the edge of the box, completely just rushing in, taking out the St Mirren striker with a very, very clumsy challenge, and a brilliant free kick by John of St Mirren, clipping the bar and bouncing in. Kasper Schmeichel really had no chance. The wall possibly could have been a wee bit better organised and jumped in a more coordinated fashion. However, I think even with the most perfect wall and the perfect jump from all the 4 or 5 men in the wall, I think it still probably would have gone in. So massive credit to John. And right at the end of the half, Dyson Maeda got the ball on the edge of the box, used his pace to get past the St Mirren right back, who chopped him down in the box. To give Maeda a lot of credit, he tried to keep his footing, but in the end fell down, got the penalty kick, and VAR quite rightly confirmed it was a penalty, and Arnie Engels, cool as a cucumber, smashed the penalty down the middle of the goal with the goalkeeper diving the other way, and Celtic went into half-time 2-1 up. St Mirren came out full of energy, full of attack, and a slightly fortuitous shot by Phillips that was into the ground, which then bounced awkwardly, then took a tremendous amount of topspin to then dip over the flailing Kasper Schmeichel in the Celtic goal, and 2-2. Rodgers made a triple substitution with McGregor and Ida and Kuhn all going off, and on came Jota and McCowan and Yang, and in particular Yang and McCowan had great games, with Yang going on to score a couple of goals. Around the 68th minute, beautiful cross to the back post by Rio Hatate, and Yang, a powerful header in at the left-hand post, Celtic going 3-2 up. Then a moment of controversy. Alsa Johnson tackled the St Mirren striker, took the ball first, clearly knocking the ball away from the St Mirren striker. Alsa Johnson did follow through, catching the St Mirren striker. The ball then rebounding off the St Mirren striker to Kasper Schmeichel in the goal. Referee didn't give a penalty, and I honestly don't think there was enough evidence for VAR to turn that into a penalty kick. I think there was an argument to say that it was a penalty kick. I think there's an argument to say that Alsa Johnson took the ball first, and it was his natural follow-through sliding that caught the St Mirren player accidentally. We've seen penalties like that given, such as the Johnson penalty with Fabio Silva in last year's 3-3 draw. We've seen penalties not given that, such as the Bayern Munich player tackling Arne Engels, touching the ball possibly, and then following through the rather nasty stamping challenge on Engels' ankle. So we've seen them being given, we've seen not being given. I think had the referee given it, it would have been a perfectly justifiable penalty. I think with it not being given, VAR couldn't really call that was a clear and obvious error. I think it's a 50-50 call. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't get them. And the best thing for Celtic and St Mirren is to move on. We'll see what the key match incident panel thinks next Friday, and I dare say both the disallowed Dyson Maida goal against Hibs and this disallowed penalty kick in the Celtic St Mirren match will both be part of Willie Collins' monthly VAR review show. So it will be interesting to see how he reacts to both of those and justifies both of those, along with the audio tapes of the various different officials in the replay booth and on the pitch. Celtic then got more and more in control of the game. Luke McCowan had a shot hit off the post, a shot very well saved by the goalkeeper, and Celtic did look like they were going to be the only team after that point to force the win, and indeed wonderful sweeping move out to Yang on our right wing. Beautiful first time on the turn pass straight into Dyson Maida's run. Maida very cleverly moved the ball through the St Mirren central defender, looked up and shot left-footed past Hemmings in the St Mirren goal, put Celtic 4-2 up, and in the end, 4 minutes into added time, Jeffrey Sloop made some good progress down the left wing, got to the byline, beautiful pinpoint cross to the back post, Yang coming in off his wing yet again, lovely header down and into the net, and Celtic win 5-2 in the end. Looking at the stats for the game shows that Celtic were massively on top in terms of possession. However, St Mirren did do a very good job of turning their small amount of possession into good chances to score and good progress into Celtic's box, with possession being 76-24 for Celtic. On targets were 9-7 for Celtic. Off target 6-5 in favour of St Mirren. Block shots 4-1 in favour of Celtic, and Kasper Schmeichel made 5 saves and Hemmings 3 saves for St Mirren. Corners were equal at 3-3. And on another day, as I said earlier, Could well have been a game that ended up as a high-scoring draw, or even, had the luck been against Celtic, could even have been a narrow defeat in a high-scoring match. So, well done in the end, Celtic's attacking players, for putting away their chances, and very well done, Kasper Schmeichel, for making those vital saves, some of which were top quality saves. Now, looking at the match ratings for the players who played yesterday, given Kasper Schmeichel 9 and man of the match. I think he had a great game in goal, had no real chance with either of the two goals, made several very good saves, deserves to be man of the match for me. Alistair Johnston, 7.5. Thought he defended very, very well, got himself forward, overlapped really nicely with Kuhn and Engels and Hatate on the right-hand side, created a few chances for our attacking players, defended very well, as I'm saying, good in the air, good at corners, and deserves for me 7.5. Given both 7 to Trusty and to Carter Vickers. I thought they both did fine. Defending, I think when Trusty did go off, Celtic's defence looked a lot more shaky and disorganised, and I think the partnership between Carter Vickers and Trusty is a very strong partnership, similar to the partnership with Carl Starfelt, and it was very clear for me when Scales came on, Celtic looked nervous getting the ball out of their own defensive zone, and looked very shaky to any pace going through the middle or down the side of Scales. Scales gave away a pretty awful free kick and was lucky to get away with one or two other challenges, and one or two other times he was caught out as well, and gave Liam Scales in the end 5 for his substitute appearance. Given 8.5 for Jeffrey Sloop. I thought it's his best game at left back for Celtic so far. Streets ahead of Greg Taylor in terms of his ability defensively. A lot more pace, better tackling, better positioning, better in the air. Doesn't get beaten over the top of his head like Taylor does all the time. Broke forward into midfield very well and set up the goal for Yang at the end, and of course scored the first goal. So 8.5 for Sloop. 7 for Cal McGregor. I thought he, of our midfielders in the end, was the least effective, but still, lots of good tackling, lots of good ball winning, lots of good distribution. Not quite at his best, so just 7 out of 10 for him. Rio Hatate looked until Callum McGregor went off around about the hour mark, not really at the races. However, almost as soon as McGregor went off, and Hatate got better and better and better. Beautiful ball to set up the Yang third goal, and was heavily involved with most of what Celtic did well in the last half hour. So 7.5 for him, 8.5 for Arnie Engels. Great game in his more advanced starting role. Lots of good passes, scored the penalty kick, and was especially impressive when he swapped back into McGregor's deeper role. And I think he showed that if Celtic do manage to keep Arnie Engels for a long time, he's going to turn into possibly Celtic's most important midfielder. And his versatility, I think, is a massive bonus for Celtic. Can play that bit more defensive, can play more conventional midfield, and of course can play more attacking zone. His dead ball kicks are getting better and better. He had a near miss with a direct free kick near the box, and of course scored the penalty. 8.5 for him. 6.5 for Nicholas Kuhn. Bit disappointed in him. Actually, his final ball not so great. His ability to get in the box not so good as it usually is. And Celtic did look a lot stronger after Yang came on to replace him at the hour mark. Although I do think Kuhn will be our regular starter until the end of the season. Adim Ida I gave a 6 to. Tried very hard, not really at his best, didn't really get any proper chances to score in the first half. Did break back nicely to help out in midfield, came back and defended well for corners and balls into the box, but his attacking role, he was mediocre at best. And I've given Dyson Maida 8.5. Looked much better when he went through the middle. Scored a goal, of course, for the fourth goal. Very effective, lots of pace. Gave the St Mirren defenders a lot of headaches, and it is working very well with Celtic swapping him into the central role for the last half hour, and I suspect that's what we'll go with next weekend against Hibs, and same again against Rangers the week after that, with Maeda starting out wide initially and then playing through the middle for the last half hour or so. And I do feel that Adam Ida is going to come back into goal scoring form again, just like he did a few weeks ago, with his goals against Aston Villa and other goals in and around that time as well. In terms of the subs, already said we're going to give Liam Scales 5. Very poor performance by him. Didn't share Brendan Rodgers' confidence and praise for him. I thought Scales is a bit of a liability. He looked very rusty, very slow, and didn't really have a good partnership with Carter Vickers, so 5 for him. I've given 6 for Jota. Lots of nice showy touches and fancy touches on the left wing. However, no real good final ball, no real good pass or cross. And unlike Yang, he didn't get himself into the box as a scoring threat, so 6 for him. Luke McCown, 7.5. I thought this was his best game for the last couple of months. Worked very well in midfield, some nice passing, got the ball out wide and through the middle to Maeda. Had a shot that hit the post and bounced out, and another shot that was well saved by the goalkeeper. And I think he had a very good game, and I think it was interesting that Celtic actually looked much stronger after Callum McGregor went off with a wee bit of a calf tweak. Rodgers, however, says that McGregor should be fine through the week and back in the team for next weekend. So hopefully that all works out well. But I think we can be rest assured that if McGregor is rested next weekend, that we have very strong 3 midfielders to take on Hibs and then take on Rangers the week after. And finally, 8.5 for Yang. It's, I think, his best game in a Celtic shirt. He scored 2 goals, had a third goal disallowed. Lots of great pace up and down the right wing, worked back into midfield and worked back into the defence. And it was almost like having 2 Dyson Maidas on at the same time. And he certainly does show very good ability with his head, much like Lil Abada often did for a relatively small man. He has good ability in the air and good technique in the air for scoring with his head, and I think he's getting better and better, and I think we do have yet another gem out wide, assuming that Yang keeps on improving as much as he has done in the last 6 months. Kenny came on for the last minute, replacing Dyson Maeda. Didn't really have any more than about 30 to 45 seconds to do anything, and so I don't think it's fair to give him a rating for his performance yesterday. Now, you may well have your own thoughts regarding your own ratings, your own performances. Maybe you think that would be unfair about Liam Scales. Maybe you think other players deserve man of the match rather than Kasper Schmeichel. But for me, Schmeichel was the deciding factor, along with Yang's 2 goals and the greater attacking ability we showed once Maeda went through the middle. That finishes off this Sunday early afternoon video. Just a wee request, if you aren't yet subscribed to the channel, please do click that subscriber button. Just 2 away from 1200. It'd be wonderful to get to 1200 for the start of the week. If you have liked the video, do click that like button. If you think there are other folk you know who are Celtic fans, football fans, or just people who might like the channel, please do pass on the details of the channel, see if they want to subscribe as well. And finally, do pop your pleasant, polite comments, thoughts, opinions in the comment section, and for a nice wee debate and chat amongst like-minded Celtic fans. We'll be doing videos through the week, preparation, looking ahead to the Hibs match, and then later the Rangers match. And so until the next video, goodbye and hail, hail.